want to do with this is approach it in two ways. I want to play it each passage nice and slow so that you can play along with the tabs, but I also want to bring to your attention just a couple of the parts in there and how cool they are. Point out why they work so that you can learn from this and use some of these, steal some of these ideas just like I do. Give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. It's all guitar and I try and do something every week. So I'm a huge Django Reinhardt fan and a huge Martin Taylor fan. So Minor Swing is a famous Django tune, and that version is Martin Taylor's take on it, released sometime in the 80s. Hey Google, when was Martin Taylor's Spirit of Django released?
The initial release date was the 15th of June 1994.
So it's off Martin Taylor's album Spirit of Django, which I flogged whenever that came out. Absolutely loved it. And I worked a few of the tracks out by ear. I mean, there was no internet then, there was no Guitar Tabs websites. You had to use your ear and figure it out and write it out on a page. So anyway, I came back to it recently and I thought it'd be a great one to break down. So look, the structure for anyone who doesn't know it is very, very basic. It's only got an A section. It doesn't have an A section and a B section like a lot of jazz tunes do. So the progression is like A minor for a bar, D minor, E7 for a bar, back to A minor, then D minor for a bar, A minor, E7, A minor, E7 to turn it round. So that's the whole progression. A minor, D minor, E7, A minor, D minor, A minor, E7, A minor. But as we know with jazz, there's a lot of little substitutions in there. So when the progression is going to go to the D minor, quite often we'll play some A7, like make it a dominant sounding chord, A7 style licks, raising that third, flattening the 9, that sort of thing, to create the tension that takes us to the D minor. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that stuff here and now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's that bass lick. Does it again. All right, we're not going to bother repeating that now. Now we've got our main head, the main theme to the whole tune. Little D minor triad, E triad, in between the first and second repeat of that, Martin Taylor does a little. So it's an E7 sharp 9, and it sounds like he just goes to a flat 9, but I noticed with a close listen when I revisited this that he's actually dropped to the 13 as well from the flat 7. So it's like a, which is just fantastic, because the only other place I've heard that change, that voicing or similar to that, is Stevie Wonder. I love how he does his 2-5-1s sometimes. If we were thinking a 2-5-1 here, B minor, E9, A, he does the B minor, that voicing for the E9 to your A major 7, because you get that, all three of those notes traveling down a semitone. Anyway, I'm off track again already. So, which just, it's weird because it's got the C sharp in it, which is your major in A, major third, but it's resolving to the A minor. Anyway, that's the first little interesting point. Here comes our first run. So that is just an E7 chord, but it starts on the flat 9, augmented, and then the circling of the notes like jazz players love to do. So, you know, it sounds like we're targeting this E root note, but no. We hit it too sharp, one note one side, go the other side, then land on it. So it's like that whole, you know, Jazz is just full of surprises. So you think you know where we're heading, but no, we've gone sharp. Oh, we'll descend, we'll land on the note. Oh no, we've overshot the mark. Another surprise, wasn't expecting to hear that. Now we're on the note. But you know what? The chord has now changed. So that note is now the 5th of our A minor chord. I just love little ideas like that. So let's continue on from that spot. 3, 4, 1. Ooh. All right. That's cool. Now this one I love because he's doing the circling of the note again, but this time, so it's, you know, we're looking for one of the 3 notes out of a D minor chord, either our F or D or A, but we start on a D sharp, sliding into the 9th, the E note. So it's like we're going to go to the F. But, oh no, we missed it and went up to the G, the 11th in the D chord. Now we're going to go downwards. Oh, we're on the major 3rd of the D minor. No, hang on, we're still moving. We're about to hit the minor. Surely this time. But no. So once again, it starts 2 notes below the note that we want, the target note. Then it skips to 2 notes above and descends, then 1 note below, then lands on it finally. But then skips down to the 5th of the chord. As I said earlier, that's something that's really common in that jazz sort of improvisation. In fact, you know, I've seen Ray Thistlethwaite, Australian rock giant, but also jazz freak. This guy's just amazing. And he would take that a step further. When I've seen him improvise, he does something like that, and just as it sounds like it's resolved, he goes to the flat 5. So he'd be thinking D minor and go, and he can scat like that and just land on those flat 5 notes, pitch perfect. You got to check that guy out. Anyway, once again, I'm way off track. Another thing that crops up in this solo that I absolutely adore is Martin Taylor's use of tritone substitution. So he loves using the B flat chord, a B flat major, as his E7 chord. So there's a couple of times, 3 or 4 times, where he moves into just straight up the B flat major. So if you break that down, your B flat, your root note, is a flat 5 in E. So that's, you know, an E altered can have a flat 5 in it, certainly. Your 3rd in B flat is D, which is your flat 7 in an E7 chord. Then your F note, which is the 5th in B flat, is your flat 9 in your E. So it's like an E7, flat 9, flat 5. Yeah, it's a great idea. It sounds fantastic. It just, yeah, adds that tension. And of course, it resolves for 2 reasons. It's those altered E notes, but it's 1 chord away from your A minor. So it works just for that logical reason as well. The next pass starts up at the 12th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4. So another thing that Martin Taylor does is he emulates some of Django's moves. As you may know, Django had limited use of his left hand due to being injured in a fire, and I don't know how he did it. I wish there was more footage of him. I mean, the guy plays better than I'll ever do in my life, and he really kind of, some of his fingers were fused together and he's belting them down on the fretboard. He should have been playing detuned rock songs. That would have been a lot easier on the poor bugger. Anyway, you can hear Martin using things that Django used, which I do it with all 4 fingers. But Django did it probably his fused together fingers doing a slide and then a pull off to another finger and another slide. Or a pull off and a couple of slides, who knows. But anyway, it's very Django-esque. And he also did, he made cool little like 5-note groupings out of things like that, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And little single note fret slides like that as well. So that's a nice little E7 run. Next verse goes back up to the same spot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So the other little cool thing that I like to point out in that, Martin's use of the major 6 here and there, which the major 6 in A minor is an F sharp note, and normally that's not going to appear in this song because the D minor features an F note, which is the minor 6 in the key of A minor. So it's a flat 6, but there's a couple of points where he uses the major 6. So one is in that that's magic. That's so cool to have that in there. And I remember hearing that and just stealing it anytime I could. Anytime I was playing, a standard pub rock cover that's in a minor key with a minor 4 chord as well, I'd go back to that first chord and use my major 6 in there in my guitar solo just to for my own entertainment really, just to be a wanker, I guess. So he does it there, and he also does it in that line towards the end of the song. Does it an octave lower down there. The next part is the octave section. Now there's a cool thing that Martin Taylor does in this. It's a very simple line. It's just, so from A, B, C, so A up to its minor third, but he plays with that real hard swing, and it's the up picks are almost open. You can almost hear the open strings. It's almost like that sort of thing. There's definite, it adds to the percussiveness and it just makes it sound really busy, and yeah, it's very cool. So this section starts with the E octave at the 7th and 9th fret. 3, 4. This section is possibly the hardest to play, and I apologise if I got a bit messy on it in that take, but there's a cheat that I'll show you. So to my ear, it sounds like Martin Taylor is doing this. So it's an A minor shape, 8, 10, 9, 10. Does the same for a B minor, then like a C chord slides into that shape at the 12th and 13th and 14th frets. Then the same thing up in D minor. Now the cheat that I usually do is I just play that same shape, and it sounds really cool anyway. So I'm just it sounds pretty cool. Sounds jazzy because that is very altered. You've got a flat 5, and well, it's like an A minor 7 with flat 5s in it, and the top and bottom. But you know, don't be lazy. Let's try the proper way. So let's run through this section. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. E9, A minor, 7, altered. I love that 6 in there. So for that section, it sounds to me like it's just a minor chord descending chromatically from E to B flat minor to go to the A, and the voicing that sounds most correct to me is just your root note on your 6th string and then your minor 3rd, root note, minor 3rd and 5th down on the B and G strings. Repeats. And there we have it. Yeah, fantastic. One other thing, to me it sounds like they're almost playing that straight on that recording. So I try not to swing that bit too much. Instead of, I like to go. All right, thanks all.